In this day and age, it is excruciating to make sense of anything. Is gluten good or bad for you? Should the crack epidemic make a comeback? If red 40 is so bad for you, why don't we just eat red 39 and below? It doesn't make sense. Critical thinking and independent thought are so hard, and it seems like the people who are really good at it are really sad anyways, so screw that noise. Enter Connect the Dots, the game where everything simply makes sense. This wheel is comprised of a random assortment of things, places, ideas, events, concepts, idealisms. Some of them even sound like Cards Against Humanity prompts. It's a real grab bag of random crap. And I'm gonna let you know a little secret. Alright, this is just between me and the internet. This wheel is magic. I know. I didn't believe it at first. I am going to spin this wheel twice, and it's going to land on 2 events, places, ideas, or thoughts. And magically, those 2 things will become connected by a cause and effect relationship in history. You heard that right. Whatever 2 things this wheel chooses to land on, it will connect them in history retroactively. Can we get a definition for retroactive down here? Cool. Thank you. And like any good group project that you would do in high school, I'm going to be able to complete this with the help of a couple of tools. The first one, MS Paint. We are going to create a timeline. Shit. It's all gone to hell. I am going to be creating a timeline. We'll start with the first result of the wheel, and we'll end on the second result. Or we'll switch them if they're very clearly chronologically ordered, I guess. And we're going to be doing 3 major events in between these 2 things that ultimately connect the 2 together. I'm also going to be employing the help of our good friend ChatGPT and Wikipedia, but do not worry, none of the creative integrity is going to be jeopardized in this video. Every single connection that is going to be made by me as the all interpreter of the magic wheel. I will, however, be using these things in order to gather information about the 2 topics in order to create the insightful predictions that I'm so prone to making. You know, if I want to create a foundless religion based on something inanimate, based on the fact that it's magic and that I said so, I've got to do it right. You can't really tell because of the way the camera is looking, but I'm on my knees right now. Dear Wheel, let's start with confessions. Please forgive me for just eating peanut butter out of the jar with a spoon instead of using it to make sandwiches and being more productive with my grocery purchases. Please forgive me for spending 2 minutes in my own head guessing whether this woman I saw in public was pregnant or not. May your spokes always feel the delicate touch of WD-40. May we reinvent ourselves as you are always reinvented by others. Amen. I'm expecting good rolls. I felt really good about that one. I think the wheel liked it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me something good. What's this one? You know what? My doctor always told me to read up on it, so that's good. That's good. This is going to be educational. Okay, this wheel's busted. There's... Not only did you nearly land on the exact same quote, but you also decided to barely land on one of the few things on this wheel that I have no idea how to work with. I don't have dyslexia. Can we just scrap this? Can we just scrap it and forget it? Is it better to just scrap this and then spin again and act like this is the second time spinning? Or should I add in this segment and then spin a 3rd time anyways as if acting like I'm aware of the breakage of rules of the wheel? What does that mean? What? Dude, did I seriously just have game night with my friends one night? And then just filled out half the wheel with these prompts? I mean, it's not wrong. I was actually really bummed out when I heard about what guerrilla warfare actually was. We all were. All of our hearts were broken. Like, what is it? What should I just do? Should I just ignore this part and just do guerrilla warfare? Testicular torsion? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that because I'm not skipping the wheel. We're just gonna do guerrilla warfare, and we'll just have a moment of silence for what could have been. What could have been a world war where gorillas fought each other. I think that would be pretty cool. Call me lame. I like fake wrestling. I like WWE. I like cheesy sitcoms. And I wish gorillas actually fought each other in world wars. Sue me. I'm a guy. I think that sounds cool. This is the information gathering stage. We need to know what the wheel meant by this. Existence of testicular portion and guerrilla warfare. So which one caused the other is the real question. I have a feeling that testicular torsion probably caused guerrilla warfare, because if I'm thinking about it, guerrilla warfare, I'm pretty sure, is kind of like the breakage of rules. It's kind of like when chess masters intentionally break the choreography of the pieces on the table into something that isn't an actual play, so that their opponent can't interpret very well. That's what guerrilla warfare is all about. It's about taking cover behind trees, not being lined up. It basically became a thing after everyone looked at the British lining up like lemmings and slowly reloading their muskets, and they, you know, scratched their chins, but not too much, because a paper cut would kill you back then. And they probably thought, huh, that looks really stupid. We're gonna fight to survive. And that's where guerrilla warfare came from. I would imagine the sexual frustration of testicular... We're just gonna do test period. Of testicular torsion. The sexual frustration that probably comes with that. I don't know anyone who's probably very sexually happy about having it. Probably incited the original concept of guerrilla warfare, which I would wager the idea that you don't just sit there and eat a musket ball the size of a golf ball in your chest, like our forefathers thought of doing. That's where guerrilla warfare, I believe, came from. It is I think a higher testosterone decision to make, you know? All right, let's gather information. Let's start with the obvious. Does testicular torsion cause sexual frustration? This is honestly just a doctor's appointment at this point, but it can lead to sexual and emotional effects that might be perceived similarly, especially if the torsion isn't treated quickly. Okay. All right. So that's important, I think, because we all know that sexual frustration is the root of like at least half the wars, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 70%, like the wage gap. I feel like a wage gap amount of wars have been caused by sexual frustration. I really can't tell if what I'm saying can be perceived as feminist or just complete incoherent ramblings. What's the difference in guerrilla warfare? We'll do Wikipedia for guerrilla warfare, such as rebels, partisans, and paramilitary personnel. A lot of P's. Maybe they'll throw in a penis somewhere in there. Who knows? Armed civilians, which may include recruited children. Wait, hold on. They're making the children fight for the guerrillas? This is way more garish than I thought a Wikipedia article would be on war. Okay. I've got it. I think I've got the wheel's first initial concept. You know what I think might have happened? This is just me spitballing here. I don't know what the wheel really means. But my initial thoughts are that the testicular torsion closes the gates, right? It doesn't let them get through, which means, that's right, no recruited children. If the very first testicular torsion happens, and that overall reduces the amount of children that can be in the world, then I don't know if guerrilla warfare would be pretty happy about that. I think this is the inciting incident in our hero's story about how these two are connected. No why have I lost the ability to write in MS Paint? Am I dyslexic? Should we go back? No recruit. That's how you spell recruit? It's not how you spell recruit, is it? Who knows? I think that's our inciting incident. And just to really paint the picture, let's draw a child with a gun. Let's see if we can get some red coats in here too. So testicular torsion locks the gates, which does not allow recruitable children to compete in guerrilla warfare. It doesn't let kids fight gorillas or whatever. But the next connecting event is kind of stumping me here, because right off the bat, we're eliminating a massive part of the invasion force that guerrilla tactics usually used during its inception. So I think children will have to make a comeback story at some point. Oh, guerrilla warfare has long been in use. In the 6th century, Sun Tzu. Oh, that guy. I think he wrote the Fart of War or something. The 3rd century BC Roman general Quintus Fabius Maximus. Oh my god, he must have been bullied so hard. Wait, hold on, there's more. Roman general Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucus. I mean, it has to be him, right? That is like the most sexless name ever. He has to be that guy had to have had testicular torsion. I'm calling it right there. That's what the wheel has been talking about this whole time. You know, I know that we make fun of parents in the modern times for adding like unnecessary complications to their kids' names, like having Ashley with an EIGH or something like that. But though that pales in comparison to Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucus. Imagine how much effort the substitute teachers had to go through just to get roll call out the door. I have never seen someone's name be a choose your own adventure story. Just pick one of the 4 names. You don't need all 4, you hog. Oh my god. Wait, I didn't even read further. They shortened it. They just called it the Fabian strategy. What's wrong? Why didn't you call it the Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucus strategy? Why did we shorten it down there? It's just so soulless now. Why don't we respect that Roman general? You know what? In memory of Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucus, I'm just gonna put his name in. Actually, I don't feel like writing his name out in MS Paint entirely, so we're just gonna call it the Fabian strategy. I think we need to delve in here. We need to figure out who this guy was. Okay, so he was a statue at one point. I can't wait to hear that in the... maybe that was in the early life? Possessed a mild temper and slow speech. As a child, he learned with difficulty, was cautious in sports, and appeared timid in demeanor. Oh my god, he actually got bullied. Oh, sorry, dude. At least you have time to walk away from the bully before he finishes saying your name in a taunting tone. You know, maybe that's the right way to go. Maybe make your name so complicated that someone can't come up with a, like, quirky, childish nickname for you. Oh, that was his other... Oh my god, that's the name that he was bullied for. I found that name. They did it. They found, the bullies found a mean name to call Quintus. Good for them. Good for them. Oh, wow. That's some wordsmithery right there, too. How do you make it sound not like a curse word, but like definitely like a curse word at the same time? Okay, the Cunctator has to do something with this. I don't think the wheel would put us on this path to find the Cunctator only for it to be a red herring or a dead end. We have to play around with the Cunctator a little bit in order for it to get to work for us, I think. Oh my god. So they gave up on it. Yeah, that's what happened. Testicular torsion cut off the possibility of children being part of guerrilla warfare, so they said, fine, we're not going to do it for a little bit. We're only going to do recruitable children in until the 1700s. And so they did away with sending children to war for just long enough for them to go to Roman school and call Fabius Quintus, dick in his mouth, the Cunctator. That has to be a major event. How could these two events not be more fluidly connected together than this? So what's the Cunctator looks like? The Cunctator, I would imagine, is like a Mr. Potato Head. Like a Mr. Potato Head with a smoking problem. When I think of a Cunctator, going off of the name, I think is a chain-smoking Mr. Potato Head. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. So we're gonna roll with it. I'm gonna trust my gut on this one. Gosh, if that's a dart, then I made a perfect score. Look at that. That's a good cigarette. Anyways, should I even add more details? Should I even add more details? I think we'll add little feet. Make this arm something, and then we'll have like pursed lips with smoke coming out. So Fabius gets called the Cunctator, and this tremendously upsets him. He's like, I hate these kids. I hate these kids so much, I'm gonna send them to war. And that's why he employed guerrilla tactics. He got upset at the children for calling him this admittedly really funny name, and Quintus sent the children to war. Can you believe it? I can't. That is blonde hair. I meant to kind of draw a pith helmet, but I think I ended up drawing blonde hair. I don't think pith helmets were even from that time in the Roman era either. I think that was like way, way later, like like conquistadors or something. I don't know if I could speak for the Cunctator, but if I were him, I would have a pretty negative opinion about children. I think this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never like had such a fluid connection here. The Cunctator hates children so much that he sent them to war. And just because they gave him a very confusing and disappointing name that makes you think of something way funnier than it actually is, he named this style of warfare, because I think he invented it, maybe, I haven't really read up on it, he called it guerrilla warfare. So that for the rest of time, when people hear of guerrilla warfare, they feel the same pain and heartbreak and rejection that he felt when those kids called him Cunctator. So now, that's why we think that guerrillas are involved in guerrilla warfare. Guess what? They're not. And that's exactly what the Cunctator wanted you to think. He wanted you to think that there was some fun little war strategy that employed beefy apes beating each other up. But no. No, it's just some idiot ducking behind a tree instead of standing in a line and getting shot. Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I trusted the wheel at first. It took kind of a while for us to get the cogs turning, but I think we really came out with something good here. I really think we did. The truth is hard to see sometimes. And you might think I'm time lying, but this timeline ain't lying. Ladies and gentlemen, the wheel speaks only truths. I just interpret them, and you never really hear what the wheel tells you, and I'm just going to tell you what the wheel thinks and says all the time, and I can only talk the wheel, but you can't because you didn't come up with the idea.